The fields were my world. Dust in my lungs, sun burning my skin, the ache in my hands before I was even a man. My only escape was Matteo. We grew up side by side, our fathers working the same land, our mothers sharing scraps of food when one family had nothing. We had nothing, but we had each other. At the river, after long days, we dreamed of escaping. One day we'll leave together, Matteo used to say. I believed him. I needed to, but then came the diamond. His father found it in the river, glinting in the morning sun. It was small enough to fit in a palm, but large enough to change a life. And it did. Matteo's family sold it, and with the money they built a real house. The kind with solid walls, a roof that didn't leak, and floors that didn't turn to mud when it rained. Suddenly, Matteo wasn't one of us anymore. I remember the first time I visited his new home. I stood at the door in my torn shirt, my feet dusty and bare, staring at the tiled floors and the smell of food I'd never tasted. His mother smiled politely, but I felt her eyes on me, on my poverty. I didn't belong there anymore. Soon after, Matteo stopped coming to the river. He stopped working the fields. He stopped dreaming with me. His days were filled with books, clean clothes, and teachers telling him he was meant for more. His new friends were children of shopkeepers and landowners, boys with shoes, girls with laughter unburdened by hunger. He laughed with them the way he used to laugh with me. When I saw him once in the market, I ran up to him, but he barely met my eyes. He patted my shoulder, said, "I've been busy," before slipping away with his well-dressed friends. Busy. That was all I was worth now. Money didn't just change his life, it erased mine from his. I tried to tell myself he would come back, that no diamond could take away the years we shared. But he never looked back. The richer he became, the more invisible I was. I wasn't part of his new world. I was a shadow from his old life, something he wanted to forget, and maybe he succeeded. I stayed in the fields, breaking my back under the same sun we once cursed together. Every time I passed the river, I remembered his promise. One day we'll leave together. But together had been the first thing money took from us. We used to think poverty was the worst thing that could happen to a family. We were wrong. Money is sharper. It cuts bonds. It rewrites hearts. It convinces those who rise that they never truly belong to those left behind. The last time I sat by the river, I whispered into the water, "You took him from me." And maybe it was true. Maybe it was the river's fault for giving up that cursed stone. Or maybe it was Matteo's choice, choosing wealth, choosing comfort, choosing people who had never known hunger over the one who had stood beside him in it. The water carried my words away, like it carried him. Matteo is gone now, alive somewhere in the city, surrounded by riches and friends who laugh too easily. And me, I'm still here, in the dirt, in the fields, in the silence he left behind. If money can buy happiness, it does so by selling everything else. Even friendship, even love, even me. I stayed behind in the fields. Life hardened me, but I kept going. I married a kind woman, though love alone could not fill our children's bellies. We suffered. There were nights when my wife went to bed hungry, so our daughters could eat. I felt the shame of a man who could not provide, yet I never stopped trying. Our daughters, however, were different. Bright, fierce, hungry, not for bread but for knowledge. Even when I had nothing, they studied under candlelight. Their brilliance caught the attention of others, and through scholarships and sponsorships, they rose higher than I had ever dared to dream. One became the head of a great bank, commanding respect from the wealthy who once would not glance our way. The other became a minister, her voice shaping the future of the nation. They loved us deeply, never forgetting the father who once patched their clothes and the mother who skipped meals for them. When they married, their husbands honored us too, treating us not as in-laws, but as beloved parents. Our later years were filled with peace, warmth, and respect. We were lifted not by a stone from the river, but by the hands of our children, hands that worked not the soil, but the future. Meanwhile, word of Matteo's family drifted back to me. His children, spoiled by the wealth that had cost him his soul, wasted their lives. One was sentenced to life in prison. The others, careless and selfish, abandoned their parents, leaving them lonely in their mansion's echoing halls. I heard that Matteo lived without peace, haunted by the wreckage of his legacy. When he learned of my daughters, the banker and the minister, he could not bring himself to face me. The shame was too heavy. He had chosen wealth over friendship, riches over loyalty, and in the end, money gave him nothing that lasted. Sometimes I sit by the same river where we once dreamed, my wife's hand in mine, my daughter's laughter echoing in the distance. I think of Matteo. I wonder if he thinks of me. The diamond that changed his life gave him nothing but sorrow. The poverty that nearly crushed me gave me everything: love, respect, children who carried me into a brighter tomorrow. And so I learned, money can build a house, but only love can build a home.